Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to another LEGO City Update. It's Jordan here. Today we're going to continue working on the raised platform. So it was actually just yesterday that I finished building the medieval jousting set and placed it here on this customized plate, and I also added a few additions to it. I think it looks fantastic beside the Lion Knight's castle. So today I'm going to continue working on the platform just because we're so close to having it done. Now this was the first hill that I ever built. It is sort of blocky. In the comment section has let me know about 300 times that it looks a little bit blocky, so I'm probably going to be changing that today. I could just leave it how it is and completely customize the edge of it and try and get away from that blockiness by doing that, or I could rebuild the whole hill. I don't really know what to do in that regard. I know for a fact it's going to host the medieval blacksmith set, and then I'm probably going to put a horse stable up there as well. But maybe if there's a horse stable and the blacksmith up there, maybe the hill doesn't need to be as tall, but I sort of want it to be tall because then it sort of pops up behind this haunted house here and you can actually see the stuff that's on the hill from afar, right? Yeah, I sort of like the size of it, but I guess it is a bit blocky. I guess I better destroy it and rebuild the entire thing. I don't really know what to do today. I don't know how to fix that. I think I'm being lazy about it. I don't want to destroy the entire thing and then rebuild it again. But I guess that's what I'm going to do. Woo! Haunted house, you need to be dusted. Woo! Ho 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 ho! Ho 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 ho! Ah! So dramatic about it. Okay, so what I've done is demolished the hill. And I think the section right here is going to essentially be the same height as the jousting. Maybe 1 or 2 bricks taller. Right now it's currently 1 brick taller. It's 5 bricks and that includes the mill split. And then what I'm going to do is have the lower section right here. I think this is where the horse stables are going to go. So it's right by the jousting. It's a little bit lower. It's going to be easy to transition up from the jousting. And then what I'm going to do is raise it up a little bit here on the second plate because this is 2 48 by 48s. The gap is right there. So I'm going to raise it up on the second plate by 2 or 3 bricks. That's what 2 bricks would look like. And then the blacksmith will be a little bit higher. So it'll be a 2-tiered plate, which I think is better than the plate that was enormously tall. That thing was as tall as this, right? So I've taken quite a bit off the hill. Of course, you're not going to be able to see it as well because it won't be elevated up as high, but it's going to make more sense. In the end, I guess it'll make more sense. I do agree. It was the first hill that I ever created. And I was sort of in the mindset of go big or go home, but I think the multi-level plate will be better. Just topping the first section of the hill here. I know it's sort of strange because we're building a mill's plate on top of a mill's plate. Maybe that didn't need to be done on a shorter hill. On the taller one, it for sure needs to be done, but either way, it's fine. It's going to be super strong now. There's the second section all plated off there, and then there's some blending work that has to happen here to hide these colorful bricks and just to make this a little bit better, give it a better shape, right? And the whole top is going to be retopped with green plates and brown plates and different shades of whatever to make it work with the landscape. The key when it comes to topping hills like this, I found, is to work with 16 by 16 plates and 8 by 16 plates. As soon as you go smaller than that, 4 by 6 or I don't know, anything 6 by 8, it just becomes harder to work with, and you've got to do a bigger support structure underneath, whereas this, I literally just used a whack of 2 by 4s and built pillars. Just makes it so much easier. Once again, it probably could just be built right off the 48 by 48 plate, but it was already built as a mill's plate, so I wasn't too worried about it, and it just makes it really solid. That's going to be pretty cool. The blacksmith's going to chill on the highest point of the hill, and then probably some sort of trail coming down, and then a horse stable right there. Yeah, pretty sweet. So now we've got a texture of this whole hill. Oh my gosh. Bring on the slopes, bamboo, leaves, studs, and everything that just transforms these hills to something magnificent. Boom, just like that, we've transformed the hill into a beauty. Pretty awesome. Same techniques used all over the LEGO city, right? With the slopes and the curved slopes and the different vegetation there. And then this section of the hill has been filled in as well. So it blends in the 2 different heights. Rather than having it here and go narrow, decided to do it opposite of what you would expect. And then I started plotting out the horse stable here. So I think the horse stable is going to stretch the entire plate, and it's going to accommodate 6 horses. It's going to be the same sort of style of this. So it's going to have a masonry base, which is light gray. And then from there, it's going to branch off with a wooden structure. And I luckily have enough of these arches here. And then I think it's also going to have some sort of angled roof. I'm running out of reddish brown plate, but I think these nougat plates might look pretty neat. There you go. I say awesome and neat a lot. That's for sure. That's just because this plate is awesome and neat. My poor horses are all laying down, but the entire surface has been covered with plate now. So there's actually one trail. It leads from the front of the, or from the front door of the blacksmith to the well on the side, and then also down the hill here and in front of the horse stable. And this is the start of the horse stable. So it's 12 studs by 32 studs. It's got 6 stalls, so you can accommodate 6 horses. I've built in these fence elements here, which will act as the gates. Everything's going to get plated in there right away. Just working on the interior there. I decided to build it on light gray, which really isn't the best plate choice for like the base layer, but that's going to be embedded in the spot, so you won't really see that. And then I've also put some tiles and studs on top of the light gray plate to sort of blend it in within the stalls, I guess. And then the walls there are built using just various light gray elements. 1x2 masonry bricks, 1x3 bricks, and also some cylinders in there as well. So that's sort of like the base construction of the horse stable. Here's the finished horse stable with no roof. Then show you that in 1 second. But first, I want to show you this. It's pretty neat. We've got arches in between each stall. They're all connected with 1x8 bricks. Then some of those modified bricks there. And I decided to put a row of plate and a row of tile on top of the masonry wall. And that's sort of where it transitions from stone to wood. So wood structure on top of the stone base layer. Now this is the beginning of the roof. This is the cross beam that runs through the center. And this roof was inspired by Rivendell. So we have 2 different panels that sit on top. Uses the nougat plates with the quarter round dark gray tiles. And then it is framed with the reddish brown tile. And it's just reinforced with some plate on the bottom there. And of course, there are 2 of those roof panels which will connect with the crossbeam. The roof design is actually inspired by Rivendell and the Simpsons house, because these roof panels actually just sit there. And it actually just works out perfectly. It's like seamless with that top crossbeam. Looks pretty good, eh? There's just enough space to see the horses there. And when it's up on the raised platform, it's going to be a better perspective. I mean, from the desk, it's like all you can see is the roof, but when it's on the raised platform, it's going to be more like that. You can actually see the horses within. And it looks pretty good when it's placed on the plate next to the blacksmith. Just like that there. So the design of it is actually pretty similar to the blacksmith. The roof is actually similar as well. It has like the cross beam and then the angled panels. So yeah, pretty neat. I like that. Now this whole area is lacking some detail, that's for sure. It's an awful lot of green plate with the brown trails, but they've got to add a whack of detail. So I'm thinking a bunch more slopes, maybe even like a little pond right here. And then we just need to texture this whole area and hopefully put some more trees in as well, just to make it look a little bit more cohesive with all of the other plates up there. And yeah, I just think it needs a little bit more rather than just green plate. We've got to think of something cool. I'm thinking the pond. The pond might be pretty neat right there. Just a small one, maybe like 6x8 studs or something like that. Might just add a nice like bit of color there, and then have all the vegetation going around that, and then of course more vegetation on the sides around the entire blacksmith as well. So here we go, brought on the details in a big way, using more of the same parts, right? Those little pre-molded trees, some of the saplings, a little bit of rock detail there with the curved slopes, green slopes, green cheese slopes, leaf elements, bamboo. Got this guy, he's bringing his horse out. Put some hay there. I'm like extremely low on hay building pieces. I've noticed that I don't have any more of the tan grade elements or yellow grade elements or the yellow textured bricks. I've built some hay in the past. I've got some hay by the farm and in other places, and I guess I just don't have enough elements to build some more hay. But what I decided to do was just use some of the masonry bricks. So I used bricks to create hay. There you go. And they're just jumpered in spot there. Yeah, that works out, I guess. Put at that interesting angle with the tiles beneath it. And then the whole path here is all framed well with all of those various elements, and then got the pond here. I've made it a little bit bigger than I originally anticipated, and it has like an odd shape, which is sort of neat, right? Yeah, pretty cool. Also, I brought the Blacksmith plate over here just so I could join it with this one, because they're side by side. So I needed to link the trails. So that's what I did there, just removed a bunch of the detail, and then added some 1x4 bricks, and then built up the detail around the edges of it so those trails line up just like that. And the trail will come around this way, and then it's going to connect with the trails on the raised platform coverings, which are right here. There's like a 6 stud gap, 5 stud gap, I think. And then there's like a trail that sort of goes back and forth between all of the stuff up there. So yeah, some people have been telling me that I need to switch the position of these guys. Okay. Shield should be in the interior. I guess I need to watch A Knight's Tale again. But yeah, I was glad I was able to bring this over here because I also added some detail on the edges here, just to blend that in a bit more. But honestly, I'm not going to add any here because this is like where the king and the queen's like seating area goes, and then there's the castle portion of it, and I don't really need to texture here because I'd imagine like the groundskeeper of this castle is maintaining this lawn, so I'm not going to make it all wild and overgrown like this because that's where the actual playing field is. So now that I've got both of these plates all detailed up there, it's time to place them back in the Lego City. I just can't get over how big it is when it's placed on my desk here. When it's on the raised platform, it's like, yeah, it doesn't look that big, and then you place it here and it's like, holy cow. And I gotta think this is like 60 inches. This is 30 inches per plate, or 15 inches per plate, and there's 4 of them. So it's 60 inches all the way across. It's pretty wild. Hey, okay, now I gotta go through the now I've got to perform the difficult task of placing these back on the raised platform. So I actually have to add the trail to the top of these platform coverings as well. Oh, it's almost perfect, but I have to make one change to the plate. First off, I already know that I've got to build some more platform coverings to get this all covered up. They're going to be pretty much the same, but I guess there's some major modifications that have to be made to them. So there's going to be one right here that's pretty much the same. Then there's like a half base plate one and a train tunnel, so it probably has to be like 1.5 base plates or 2 base plates to accommodate that train tunnel. And then another couple standard ones there, and then like a really weird one on the end that accommodates 2 train lines going underneath the raised platform. So that should be interesting. Probably rather difficult to build. And I've also been talking about building that dungeon. That's still the plan. So what I'm going to do, rather than modifying like 2 of those, I'll probably try to use them over here, and then I'll have to build the dungeon one from scratch. And then once that's done, this trail will actually connect to this trail. I know the trails are different, but I'm out of reddish brown plate, and this is just sort of something different. Didn't really want to make this all reddish brown. I don't know, I just like the trail like that. It's pretty cool. It's different. It's more of like a walking trail, whereas these ones are like embedded in the actual, plate, surrounded by slopes. Can you spot my mistake? The roof overhangs 3 studs, and I only left 2 studs on the back. So I need to move that horse stable forward 1 stud. So essentially, this whole trail, I need to just like remove all of that stuff. I gotta haul it back over to my desk. It's not very good at all, is it? Very visible. You can see it. It's awesome. It's, tall enough. But when I put the dusty, dusty house back, it's gonna pretty much cover it up. So when I get around to building the amusement park, I might have to come up with a new configuration so that this haunted house is not right here blocking the raised platform, because that looks so good. I also have to figure out what I'm going to do with my haunted manor, or my haunted mansion, which is a rebrickable model. A lot of people want me to put that on a hill, and I agree that would be cool, but as you can see, it goes like right to the edge of the plate. I guess like I could remove the grounds. I haven't mills plated that thing. I haven't really done much with that, and maybe that needs to be raised up like the same height as the blacksmith, and just raise it up just so you can see that, and it's sort of a continuation of the rolling green hills up here. Oh, I forgot to take a before and after photo, but here's like a little snippet from this video of the hill before, and here is the blacksmith and horse stable after. So definitely happy that I went with this plan of making the multi-leveled hill. Thank you all for your comments and positive criticism. I appreciate it. But there we go. We got the medieval blacksmith placed and looking pretty good there with a custom horse stable. I don't have it in me to fix that right now. I thought that was the end of my day, but I guess maybe it shouldn't be because I should fix that roof, but it is what it is. Looking pretty good, hey? Loving this area. It's coming along great. It has been the main focus over the last few months, that's for sure. But we've had some tremendous progress here in the Lego City, specifically with this raised platform. Thank you so much for coming on by. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Farewell.